Hey everybody, welcome back to Secret Squirrel Games. I'm your host, Secret Squirrel, of course. We're going to knock out some more cross-out daily and weekly challenges in this stream, of course. As usual, it is noon on Wednesday. It is noon Eastern time in the United States, at least, on Wednesday at this time every week. And at noon also on Tuesdays, we do cross-out daily and weekly challenges. And Tuesday's got a little bit more of a tutorial angle to it. Wednesday is just getting in, having some fun, having some midweek mayhem, madness, whatever you want to call it. Some hijinks, some craziness, whatever we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and knock that out, though, today. And in order to do so, I'm starting with this very basic vehicle right here because I'm going to modify it up since the weapon of the day, as far as the challenges are concerned, or the weapon choices of the day, at least, are cannon, turret, cannon, or plasma gun. And what I mean by this is, if you're not aware, there's 9 daily challenges. There's 5 shown here. And 4 of these, except for this one, these 4 right here, these 3 right here, and then this one, they each get replaced by one that's just a little bit harder once these are complete. So win 2 battles in missions becomes win 3 battles in missions after you finish the 2, and you get this reward, then you get a little bit more reward for the win 3 battles. Same thing with this one that says win 2 battles in missions or raids using a cannon, turret, cannon, or plasma gun. It becomes win 3 battles, blah, 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 with a little bit higher reward. Winning 1 raid becomes winning 2 raids. So in other words, you have a grand total of winning 3 raids required, winning 3 battles and missions, winning 3 battles and missions or raids using cannon, turret, cannon. I'm sorry, correction. The 3 plus the 2 becomes winning 5 battles and missions, winning 5 battles and missions or raids using a cannon, turret, cannon, or plasma gun. And then the completing 3 daily challenges just becomes replaced by a complete 4 daily challenges, which means a total of 7, and you'll be done with that. And buy or sell an item on the market does not get replaced by anything else. That just once you're done with that, you're done with that. But so there's a total of 9 though, because you see 5 here, and 4 of them get replaced by a follow-on challenge, therefore making 9. And those 9, which is why you see complete 42 daily challenges, already has 18 progress toward 42. That 18 right there is because of Monday and Tuesday, obviously. Now that we're on Wednesday, we're going to add 9 more to that and get that to 27 of 42, and we'll be good. Now we'll make some progress towards some weekly challenges as well, especially this hard raids with copper as the reward. We're going to do that. The hard raids cost 60 fuel each. We have 200 fuel given to us at the start of every day, so we'll knock out 3 of those hard raids for 180 of the fuel. That'll leave us 20 extra fuel, and we'll use that. I guess I already completed the easy challenges. Well, then maybe I'll add a little bit to it and knock out another one. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. But that's going to be the goal, knock out those daily challenges. Also, since the season is still running for another 9 days, 9 days and a few hours, we're going to try to knock out another 2,500 experience points toward that. And by 2,500 experience points, I mean do the 5 challenge. Now, this time it lists daily challenges 1 of 5, because, again, just like the regular daily challenges, these get, even though you only see 1 here, it gets replaced by a follow-on once it's completed. So once you earn 2 patches and get the 300 experience points, this whole mission just gets, or this whole objective here, this challenge gets replaced by one that says earn 3 patches from the same categories for 400 experience points. Once you complete that, it'll say earn 4 patches from those categories for 500 experience points. Same thing, there's a total of 5 of them, each one progressively a little bit more. Those are going to happen as we do these other challenges and as we do the follow-on raids and things like that for the weekly challenges that we're going to progress towards as well. So we don't really have to worry about those in general. If for some reason, we haven't completed them at the end, then maybe we'll, just go knock out another, quick battle or 2 or whatever, just to get whatever required patches we might still need at the end. But more than likely, we'll be done with them at the same time. What's going on, Possible Spy? Hey, though you don't know it, and I know you probably only watch this game or whatever, you have a character in my Kenshi playthrough. I have a character for Possible Spy in my Kenshi playthrough. My followers get characters in Kenshi, so you're in there. And it may not be your type of game, I'm not sure, whatever, but if you even know what it is, but just to let you know, it is there. You are in there. So, so I'm going to go ahead and knock out these challenges now. Since the battles and missions are raids using a cannon, turret, cannon, or plasma gun are the weapon choices for today. I'm going to use this this basic truck here, which is equipped with machine guns. I'm going to just knock those off of there. That's 6 points of machine guns, right? Well, conveniently, a turret cannon like the like the what the hell is it called that I'm thinking of? Like the little boy. That's what I'm thinking of. Is 6 energy points. So I'll just put that in the place, and then I'm gonna put on a buggy floor. And I'm also going to put on, just to make sure I don't run out of ammo during the combat, I'm going to put in a little ammo pack there, put the buggy floor there, put the cannon there, and then I can put this like right there. So now we're good. All we got to do is paint it up. Paint it up just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. We don't have to go crazy. Just a little bit. A little bit of paint. Put a little bit there. And then we put a little bit there. We'll be good. Be good to go. We're done with that. Yeah, I stream Kenshi as well. I don't, it's not scheduled. It's more of an ad hoc type of thing whenever I can to fill it in, you know, to fill in a space and I just want to stream a little bit or whatever. It's a game I go back to a lot. It's an open world, kind of isometric view, I guess you could say, but not stuck that way. Roleplay type of way. It's a little bit of everything, you know. It's whatever you want it to be, basically. But one thing it is not is Crossout. It's nothing like Crossout. It is a completely different style of game. It's not a first-person shooter. It's not a third-person shooter. It's not any kind of shooter like that. It doesn't even have weapons and stuff like that. So, or guns at least. It has crossbows and swords, and it's like a older technology level type of thing. Finally got your Apollo. Nice. And tsunamis. Cannons. Yeah. Well, I mean, good luck with them. Don't get me wrong. They hit hard and all that stuff. I'm just not a huge cannon guy personally, so hey, if you have fun with them, then that's what counts, though. That's what counts for you. I mean, I'm doing a cannon thing right now, obviously, because it's a daily challenge, but as you'll note, I had to modify an existing build in order to make this happen because I don't keep a cannon build, because I'm not the biggest fan of cannons in general. Yeah, why would you do that? Steel clubbing's no good. Good work, ladies. Keep it up. No need to seal club. Come on. Better than that, man. For anybody who might be watching and is unaware of what he's talking about, Possible Spy is talking about in chat, steel clubbing is when you take a high power weapon into lower power or mid grade, maybe, you know, power scores and battles. because the way the power score system works is, you know, if your overall power, it matches you up basically with your overall power score. So it doesn't matter if you have, you know, 6, you know, machine guns or whatever versus, you know, for 12 energy versus 1 or versus, you know, 2 retchers, you know, for 12 energy, except for the fact that, you know, they're gonna have a higher power score than the machine guns in general. But that's how it works. How you like me now? Yeah, I knew that was going to be done before I could get to it. 7 scrap exactly. Yeah, retchers are fun. I like retchers. I like a retcher. That's why I have 2 of them. I'm a fan of the retcher. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of being on the receiving end of retcher blasts because that sucks. When you just start seeing your pieces of your car flying off left and right. That's no bueno. But it can dish out some damage, that is for sure. Yeah, man, this queue is taking forever. Yeah, Kenshi is it's not. It doesn't have a linear storyline. It's whatever. Like I said, it's whatever you want it to be. Like if you want to make yourself into a bandit, you can do so. If you want to make yourself into bounty hunter, you can do so. If you want to fight for one faction or another, you can do so. You can create your own entire town. You can create a series of towns. You can topple existing governments. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff in it. You can be a craftsman, you can be a farmer, you can be whatever you want to be. Ah, crap. Yeah, you didn't like that, did you? What you get? Ah. So currently, I think you are a turret gunner in my Kenshi build, but that'll change. My turret gunners are, I mean, they're essential right now. I need them, you know. But manning like a crossbow turret or a harpoon turret or something like that. But I'll start swapping them out for less experienced guys or whatever eventually. I'll get you into doing something else. Maybe you'll be well, I mean, the name indicates that maybe you'd be, you know, a good stealthy character. You know, possible spy, of course. That way I could make you a stealthy character and stuff who sneaks around, maybe does some thieving for me, perhaps some assassination. Can always use those. I've got a couple, but I can always use more of those. Welcome anybody else who is tuned in to Secret Squirrel Games. I'm your host, Secret Squirrel. Thanks for tuning in, and we are playing Crossout. We are doing our daily and weekly challenges. Currently, as far as our daily challenges are concerned, damn it, I missed. Take that wheel off. Take the back end of that guy's truck off. Ah, man, that guy got in the way. Yeah, so we're doing our daily and weekly challenges, and right now they are consisting of winning missions, of which we find ourselves winning missions, of course. We're in a low power score mission in patrols currently, because that is the most efficient means of accomplishing the winning missions. And that's what we're doing. We're going to go ahead and knock those out, get those out of the way. We'll move on to raids afterwards. Once one more of these is done, we're doing it with a turret cannon because that meets this requirement as well. At the same time, we're automatically earning patches for the accomplishment of our seasonal daily challenges. And then we're going to automatically be completing the 3 daily challenges here, automatically be progressing toward both of these weekly challenges as well at the same time. So there's a lot going on all at the same time right here. Buy or sell an item on the market. We're going to knock that out here in a minute, or try to. Who knows? I'm going to have to look at the market because there are a couple of things I'm interested in that I can't craft. Normally I craft things if I'm capable of doing so, of course. Now I might buy the resources in order to do it, but I do the crafting myself. But there are a couple of items I'm interested in, potentially. Either one or two, one or both of them. And the thing is that the prices have been crazy lately, and because the prices have been crazy, like crazy high I'm talking about, I don't intend to encourage that kind of activity. Ah. Take that wheel off. Ah, man. Dip in the ground right there. Right when I shoot at him. Oh, he turns around on me? Oh, you bastard. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I suck for that. Oh, no, we suck again. Right when I shoot, of course, they kill him. Nope, and they got him, too. I got nothing on that one. I got terrible. I was terrible. Terrible. Doesn't matter, though, because the win is the win, which accomplishes the challenges. Boom, bang those things right on out. We got more of these to do, but those are happening on as we go. Buy or sell an item on the market. I'm going to go ahead and double check a couple of things because I do like to look at them. That is insane. 493. Are you kidding me? Look at that. Look at that. And that's all. Even the low on this is too high. Even the low on that is too high. Way too high. I bought 2 of these just a couple of weeks ago, and I bought them one for $367 and one for $390 something, and now they're asking for $493. That's crazy. I mean, obviously I could sell them for profit right now. This too. This is too much. Look at that. Way up there in the last 2 weeks. It was down below 4. Price fluctuation 355 on that day. And now here it is. Ugh. It's too much. It's too much. They're asking for too much. They got to get. I think it's because right now, because the season is just giving away coins, you know? So people are just charging more for everything. Because it's, you know, every 2 days, even without the midweek seasonal challenges, every 2 days of doing the daily challenges, because every day you get 2,500 experience points, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, and 700 added together equal 2,500. So as long as you do the 5 daily challenges, which you don't even have to do you don't even have to go out of your way to do. They just happen while you're doing your regular daily challenges. As long as you do that, you get 2,500 experience points. Well, it takes 5,000 experience points to gain a level, which means every 2 days you're getting a level. And as long as you're over level 75, every 2 days you're getting an additional 20 coins. So, you know, like I said, every 2 weeks you've gotten 140 extra coins. So yeah, it's. I think they're just going nuts with the market because of it. You know, it's throwing some things off. I think people are just charging more because they can't. Even wires, that's way too expensive. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna sell things instead of buying things. It's too much. How much fuel do I have though? That I do buy. No, I'm good right now. 1,300. You know what? I'm gonna sell this. Sell this right now. Oh yeah, it's going for 41. Hell yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna sell that. Or 35 even. So, yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. What's 35 is what people are offering right now. Let's just go 40. Here, we'll just go 40 and let it do its thing. Yeah, go ahead. Even that, it's normally 30. And watch, I'll get 25% more than I normally would for it. Yeah, there's been an inflation issue. Yes, PC. Why are you having different prices on a console? And how you doing today, D-Man? Welcome, by the way. Yeah, the prices have been. My understanding is that Xbox prices are higher, I believe. Normally, I think. I could be wrong on that. I could be completely wrong on that, but I believe that's what I have been told before when people are like, oh, prices on Xbox are crazy and all this kind of stuff. Alright, so since we're going to do raids, we're going to go ahead and switch to the raid vehicle, which is going to be the Retchers. Double Retchers, baby, for the win. And as far as the raids are concerned, I'm going to do hard raids with copper as the reward. That's going to be this right here, Frontier Defense against Scavengers at the bridge. Let's get after it. Yeah, my understanding is that I don't know about PlayStation, but my understanding is that Xbox prices in their market are higher, like considerably higher. You know, for the same stuff, obviously. Like I thought somebody had mentioned once that retros were like 4,000 or something like that on Xbox, and usually they're like 2,400 or so on here. But even that's gone up. They're running 3,000 right now. Yeah, usually they're about 2,400, 24, 24 and change or whatever. Right now they're running almost 3,000, 2,989. That's crazy. Oh, somebody bought my miner's container for 40. I heard it. $6.2K. What is? Retchers? Oh. Probably a telemarketer. Hold on 1 second, folks. Let me mute the mic for this. Yeah, sounds like a telemarketer. Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, thanks for the follow, D-Man. Much appreciated. Yeah, I always love to have new people join the community. It's a shame that I'm assuming, since you're talking about PS or whatever, then I'm assuming that you don't play on PC. That's a shame. I like to have followers play along. I like to play along with my followers. But if you're on PlayStation, obviously that, since Crossout does not have cross-platform, then there's only so much you can do. But it is, it's still nice of you to follow on here. Very much appreciated. Like I said, your viewership, as always, is appreciated here on Secret Squirrel Games. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays at noon, I knock out my daily and weekly challenges, and Tuesdays is usually a bit more of a tutorial-based for newer players, especially. But sometimes seasoned players get something out of it too. And by tutorial, I'm not trying to claim that I'm the master of all that is Crossout or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that, so don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to say like, oh, this is my master class or anything like that. It's just, you know, the basic stuff, a lot of things that even season players, like I said, sometimes, and by season, I'm not talking about like the real season. Real season players usually know these things, but there are plenty of folks who have some experience with the game who don't necessarily realize a lot of the different aspects of the game that are available and how to work them. Damn it! That dude took my freaking front end. Now I'm upset. I'm upset. You little son of a... You, I don't like you. Oh, of course I have no control over anything because I have no freaking front wheels. There. I'll go without my front wheels for now. See how long I can last, and then you know, I'll take my free respawn. For those who don't know, during raids you do get a free respawn, so that's always nice. I mean, I'm somehow still able to steer a bit, so... Yeah, I get it. You don't need to push me around. Alright. There we go. Now we'll go ahead and, oop, they're coming around behind me. Oh, he nailed me with that. I will take that ammo. Oh, here they come. And where to now? Where do they come from? Where do they come from? Where do they go? Where do they come from? Got an idea. Alright. Yeah. I don't generally mess around with the turret so much during these. I mean, I could. I guess I should. I generally don't, though. I find it annoying to have to play babysitter to these turrets quite often. Oh, are you kidding me right now? Cyclones.
Force heals fused are the best for raids. I think I know everyone uses raids.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I mean, when I started doing this, not everyone was doing it, but... And I'm not saying that I'm the trendsetter. I'm not saying that it was, oh, because of me, or anything like that. Obviously, I'm not a big enough streamer for me to even begin to claim anything like that, like I have any influence over anything. I'm still small fish. But, I will just say, like I said, not everybody was doing it when I started doing this. In fact, a lot of people were doing the rapid fire machine guns or the energy weapon, ones like the Auroras or energizers, Auroras, maybe Arbiters, things like that, whatever, when you got into this higher power score and stuff like that, whatever. There were a lot of wedges with shotguns and stuff like that. But I wasn't seeing everybody do double retchers. Now I see everybody do double retchers, and I'm like, good lord, like it's a bit overboard how much I see the double retchers. I've been in raids now where all 4 of us are using double retchers, and if it's like the crater, especially, where you can fire across the crater, and you can see the enemy coming from all the way across. I went into a crater raid, hard level, whatever. I don't know, electronics probably. It doesn't matter. But and I don't remember which opponent it was, which faction it was that we were up against. But all 4 of us were double retchers, and that was super fast. We were done with that raid in no time. It took no time to just clear all the waves and the bosses. None of them lasted very long at all. It was just 4 double retcher vehicles just annihilating them. So yeah, it was impressive how quickly we cleared that, that raid before, and it's and it still happens sometimes to where it, usually though, like 2 of the cars or whatever are double retchers, maybe 3. What's going on, Gore? How you doing today, man? Come on, get out of the way, dude. I'm trying to get the guy that's right behind you. Ah, he still got me. Found that tree. Found it. Boom. I'm assuming you're working right now, Gore? Yep. Is your work day going well? Why am I not? It's not moving. That's nice. It's always good. Ugh. All right, let's see. Where from this time? Down that way. You know what? You suck. Found that tree. All the space there, and I run right into the tree. One lone tree in the middle of this waterway, and of course I run into it. Because that's what I do. Boom. Knew that was gonna happen. Oh, and he still comes after me, even though I just spawned in. And other guys are shooting him. Alright. That's fine. Fine. Doesn't even upset me. Alright, let's see. What's the question mark about? Oh, nah, I was just joking around because this guy, because the boss killed me, and then I respawned, and even though there were three other, the other three characters, the other three players are all right in his face shooting him, he's avoiding them and shooting me at distance, and I'm like, yeah, I just spawned in and he's immediately attacking me. and ignoring them, like, not even getting mad about it. It's no big deal. What's going on, Jack? How you doing today? Hopefully having a good day. Came to watch a little cross out. I'm just knocking out my daily and weekly challenges. Currently knocking out the challenge of, you know, winning a certain number of raids in the day, but I'm also doing it in the progress of the weekly challenge of hard raids with copper as the reward. Sure can. Just be aware, this is what I'm doing right now. Hard raids with copper as the reward.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Hey, thanks for the follow too. Yeah, you can do that, but are you up for hard raids with copper as the reward? They cost 60 fuel each, in case you're unaware. Bring your highest power score vehicle. You can send me an in-game friend request, or I can send you one if you tell me your in-game name, if you're in-game right now. I'm definitely willing to do that. I like to play with the followers, the viewers, and all that stuff or whatever, and thanks for the follow, like I said. Viewership is always appreciated here at Secret Squirrel Games. And it's right there on the screen. Right up here with a underscore at the end of it. Secret Squirrel underscore. Did you get it? Are you doing this, Jack? What happened? Oh. That's fine. I gotta check the market anyway, I think. Or actually, yeah, I gotta make sure. I think my offer went through. Yeah, it did. Okay. Cool. I mean, my sale. I sold my item on the market. Yep. Cool. Yeah, everything's been jacked up on our market. D-Man was telling me how crazy it is on PS4, which is insane. 6.2 thousand they're asking for retchers on. Yeah, 6.2 thousand on PS4 for retchers. I'm like, that is insane. They're right at 3,000 right now on PC, and that's way high for them. Normally they're around 2,400 or something, I think. I always remember them being around, maybe it's 2,600 or something. I don't know. This seems like in the last 2 weeks they've all been going up, because they're in the, I could have swore they're around 24, 2,600 or something like that, but they're definitely on the, you know, on the higher end right now. It's just insane. Either way, it's insane. It's triggers and blockchains have gone up. Everything's going up so crazy. You know, it's wild. Wild. The prices. Man. What has sold for the most? The Mastodon. 23,000. Oosh. Oosh. Porcupines are up there at 22,000. That Flash Tesla emitter. That's up there. Oh, man. Crazy prices. Crazy prices. What's amazing is, here's a paint. It's 16,000, man. Good Lord, that's... And then you get into purple gear. Well, actually, that's a weird thing. A cap can is a purple gear. It's not even legendary. And it's running 3,300. And then all the other, all the legendaries start popping in. Squeeze in an elephant somewhere in there. Those are purple. They're not even... Ah. That's just insane. It's just insane. So it's the same name? Easy peasy, man. Easy peasy. Weird that it doesn't show your name on there. Oh, now it does. It didn't show it until I clicked it. That's weird. Huh. Very strange. Very strange that it didn't do that. The new account. And welcome. I will invite you to a group. If you're cool, if you're down with that, if you're ready. You have a high power score vehicle though? I just want to make sure if you're in a new account, unless you threw money at the game. What do you... I know, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for it to see if he changes to a different vehicle or something. You know, maybe he threw money at the game. I don't know. I mean, who am I to judge? You know? Doesn't have to throw a lot of money, honestly. You know? I mean, if he just threw $10 and got the seasonal event, then he would have... Wow, that sucks. Yeah, if you threw $10 and got the season, you could you would automatically have the kaiju and all that, at least, you know, so... I mean, there's something there. And you can't sign into it? Why not? You just forget a password or something? That'd be terrible. I'm sure they can help you with that. I'm sure technical support can help you somehow with that. That would be crazy. You got to have more than a 737 power score vehicle. You can't be ready. I'm doing hard raids, I said, with copper. It's a minimum of 5,000 power score. It has a 5,000 power score minimum, and you have to be at least level 5 with engineers, or... I mean, not engineers. Lunatics, nomads, or scavengers. So hopefully, when you say a new account, you've at least achieved those things, because... Do you have more than that, Jack? I think I may have to take Tylenol or something. Got a little bit of a headache. Do you have a more powerful vehicle? And anybody else who's watching can also feel free to hit me up and come along with me on the raids. Well, what are we going to do about this? Like, I mean, when you asked if you could play, I said I was doing hard raids with copper as the reward, and they require 60 fuel, and they're hard raids, so that means you have to have the 5,000 power score. And you said it wasn't a problem. Are you getting that worked out with tech support to get your other account stuff back? Well, no, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it won't let me do a hard... It won't let you sign up. You can't do a hard raid with copper as the reward because you don't have a 5,000 power score vehicle. It won't let us do it. Like, watch. If you ready up, if I do this, you ready up, it will say no. I mean, it's not just a suggestion, it is a requirement. But you have a power score of 5,000 at least. And that's the challenge that I'm specifically working on right now. Win 10 battles in hard raids with copper as the reward. I mean, with 737 power score, it won't let you even do normal raids with copper or plastic as the reward, because the normal raids still require 4,000 power score. It'll only let you do easy raids. And I've already completed that weekly challenge. I mean, I'll do one. I'll do an easy raid with you. If you want to do an easy raid, we can do an easy raid. But after that, I got to get back to doing the other. Because, I mean, I've got 80 fuel when it costs 20 fuel to do an easy raid. But after that, I got to get back with the other 60 fuel and do the hard raid with copper as a reward. So I'll do one easy raid with you, okay? But then I got to get back to doing the hard ones. And if you don't have a vehicle that can do it, then I'm sorry. But we'll have to catch up another time doing it, okay? Because I got to work on the weekly challenges. That's kind of the focus of what I'm trying to do here. All right. Well, I signed up for it. I just signed. No, never mind. You switched it, I guess. I don't know. Is it not letting because of the power score difference? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that's a thing because I think we've done that before with power score disparity. But yeah, I went ahead and I'm ready up for an easy level raid. Hey, what's up, Iron King? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Yeah? Busy? Okay, yeah. Okay, Jack. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and go out on my test track and see if I can find what two friends' vehicles are out here somewhere. Where are they? There's one. And where'd the other friend go? They went down this way, did they not? Did they go this way or did they go up the other? Thought I saw them. Huh. Found that. There he is. Oh, it's Foxy. Hey, Foxy. How you doing, man? Alrighty, alright. Just waiting on Jack. Hopefully they are. So if I'm allowed to ask, how's your medication going? Yeah, well that's funny. I was about to say, I don't know that it was supposed to hurt as long as this. The recovery time, you know, or it was supposed to be this bad or not. I don't know, but well, you can do the easy raid, can't you, Jack? No, why is it? Yeah, I mean, alright, so for some reason I hit it, and it keeps unselecting it. Something wrong with your car? Huh. What? Okay. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'll go do the hard raid first. I'm gonna go ahead and let's split up the team or whatever. I'll go do the hard raid, and hopefully you can get it worked out in time. After the hard raid, we can go do an easy raid. Okay? I'm gonna have you. We're gonna remove from the group, whatever. I'll go do the hard raid, and then you can do the easy raid or whatever afterwards. Okay? Yeah. See if you can get that fixed. And so Iron King, what I was gonna say is, yeah, I don't know. I mean, here it is, almost 3 weeks later, and it's still a good amount of pain. So I don't know. And I don't have pain meds to last or anything like that. But my follow-up appointment is tomorrow with the doc. So hopefully, I don't know if they're just planning on redressing it or, letting it breathe some or what. But, we'll figure it out. And then we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not one. I don't like to over-medicate, though, so I try to hold off on using the pain meds whenever I can. But, you got to do what you got to do still, And there are times, definitely, when you need to have some. Like when I can't sleep at night if I don't, if it's hurting. It's too much. It keeps me awake. Oh, man. So that's really the only time I take the pain meds. I don't take them during the day. I just take them to be able to sleep at night. Because you're moving around a little bit, and stuff like that, and therefore, it'll get sore, and, but I don't take them during the day. So, it is what it is. I mean, now, like, medication like Tylenol and stuff like that, or whatever, I believe in the shock and awe theory of medication in that case. I don't have time for, I don't want to, like, my girlfriend, she like, screws around with Tylenol. Like, she'll go, oh, I have a headache, and then she'll just take, like, 500 milligrams of Tylenol, and I'm like, that's not going to do anything, that's not going to get rid of your headache, what are you going to do about it? She's like, oh, I'll just see if it works, and then 4 hours later, she's doing it again, another 500 milligrams, same thing, and I'm like, yeah, because it's not working, you need to have a little bit, you need to hit it harder, in order to knock it out of there. So, yeah, in that case, I believe in the shock and awe theory. As soon as I start to get a headache, I'm like, you know what? I'm not playing around. I'm not going to screw around under-medicating. I'm going to make sure to get rid of this headache. And so, in doing so, I'll throw, 1,500 milligrams of Tylenol at it. And then I'll be like, yeah, that's gone now. Cool. No more headache. But for things like Percocet and stuff like that, no, I don't want to use it if I don't have to. That stuff has addictive qualities and things like that, and I certainly don't want to use it if I don't have to. man. He had his underside exposed there for a second. I was about to hit him in the Apollo if he had stayed that way. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take some Tylenol, speaking of, here in a little bit. I think I'm getting a headache now. Yeah, and because of it, honestly, I've only been able to play cross out in limited amounts too, to tell you the truth, because of the amount of, keyboard activity that I have to do. It makes it, it hurts the forearms a little bit. So since my surgery was on my, elbow, it's the forearm muscle basically that was cut in order to do it. Yeah, no, and I'm not trying to complain about it. I'm not trying to say, oh, poor me or anything like that. So, I'm just saying it is what it is, so. But yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate the well wishes anyway. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's just going to take some more time, that's all. Just not done healing yet. As much as I would love it to be done healing, it is just not. So, because believe me, it's annoying the crap out of me at this point. Why the hell am I missing this guy? Yeah, I'm missing this guy. Alright. Yeah. Get this. Oh, I don't need that. Oh. Alright. Weren't there more over here? This many? Yeah, there are.
There we go. Where's the next one? Over this way. That was a good ricochet shot on him.
Well done, my boy. Yeah.
Oh, that was a good shot right in my face. Oh.
I got hurt.
They'll probably kill me. I knew it.
Good shot, Ed.
Done.
Well done, boys. Keep it up.
I'm just gonna ban those bots real quick. Yep. Done. Alright. Did you get that fixed up, Jack? If you're still here. He may not be still around. I don't know. I mean, it still shows it. Actually, it shows him in a battle now, so he's doing something. Well, he got up to 749 instead of 737, from the looks of things. He's only second level with the engineers, though, so I don't think that that's gonna work. Because you have to be at least fourth level just to do an easy level raid, or yeah, an easy level difficulty raid. So, he says he's not. He says he can't access his old account that he had a lot of money on and all kinds of stuff or whatever, and so I don't know. For whatever reason, he created a new account and he's working with tech support to try to get access to his old account. I don't know. And that's what he said. I mean, either way is fine. If he's a new player, that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. It's just that he was asking to play and with me, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm working on a challenge right now, so you know, hard raids of copper is the reward. And originally he was like, you know, he's like, yeah, that's fine or whatever, and I'm like, okay, cool. But then he has a 737 power score vehicle. I'm like, well, that's not gonna work. It's not, you know. And he's like, well, I'm really good with it. I'm like, you may be, but it's not gonna work out for you, you know, in a hard raid with the 737 power score. You can just boom, done. You know, and number two, it doesn't matter. It's not going to let you play a 737 power score, minimum 5,000 power score requirement anyway. So it's not going to let you do it. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, I said I was willing to do an easy raid with him, which he would qualify for. I thought, you know, at least power score, there's no power score requirement for an easy raid. However, there is a level 4 requirement, you know, and I just looked at his, you know, profile or whatever there, and it says that he's only level 2 with the engineers. So, and he may have other stuff on another account, and that would be great, you know, if he can get access to them, you know, and get it all straightened out so he can get his previous levels and stuff back, then that would be great, you know, but for him, obviously. But at this point, you know, it's not workable for us to team up and do stuff because we can't do any kind of raids. I can't even do an easy raid with them, you know. But I was willing otherwise. It's just, I don't know. It is what it is, you know. But I'm gonna go ahead and I guess do this again. Do another one of these maybe. I could, right? I could. Yeah. Might as well. I bet I'll knock out some, whatever you call it. I got a few of these starter group missions. I can go do that and replay that there. I do have some patches still to earn, but I got to get 5 of those. So if I don't get 5 of those in this raid, then I'll just go knock out a simple mission or two. Also a little simple battle, you know, like a patrol or something like that in order to get those badges necessary for the seasonal daily challenge. So I was looking on Twitch, and it's the end of civilization. You know, I look at what people are willing to pay for on Twitch or anywhere, I guess, and it's just, civilization is just over. There's nothing left. The decline of civilization is readily apparent. I mean, I'm looking at girls with people just donating them money and throwing subscriptions. I mean, I'm looking at girls getting 20,000 subscribers. 20,000 subscribers. Even if those are all tier 1 subscriptions, that's $50,000 a month per share. You know, that's $100,000 a month. But Twitch keeps half of that. So that's $50,000 a month per share, and just from subscribers, not counting whatever she gets from donations. And all the girls doing is, what are they calling it? Bikini try-on, hot tub bikini try-on, or whatever. And I'm like, first off, you glance at it and you go, that's not even a hot tub. That's literally an inflatable kiddie pool inside your house. And all you're doing is putting on bikinis. Yeah, of course Twitch recommends them, because Twitch gets half of that. Of course Twitch recommends that. Twitch will be like, hell yeah, you should definitely do this. You know, check out this page, because if they're making, you know, she's making $50,000 a month from that, they're making $50,000 a month from that. They are highly encouraging that you subscribe to her, I'm sure. Or not just her, these girls, because there's more than one that do it. You know, They call it hot tub bikini try-on. And I'm like, there's no hot tub. You're sitting in an inflatable kiddie pool. And all you're doing is, and people can spend their, like, loyalty points or whatever to have her change bikinis. You know? I'm like, that's it. She's just literally just sitting there. She's barely even, like, she's not even talking. Like, one of the girls is just sitting there singing to herself. I'm like, you're not even interacting with people. I mean, I get it if maybe they dug your personality and all this kind of stuff or whatever, and they were like, yeah, she's got a cool personality and she chats with us and all this stuff or whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still think that's excessive, the amount of money you're throwing at her for that, but, you know, in a lot of ways, sad, you know, but at least you can kind of justify, I guess, in that sense, or if she's entertaining and she tells jokes or something like, but she's literally just sitting there singing to herself or whatever, and that's it. And I'm like, this is ridiculous that people are spending money. It tells me there is definitely a lot of excess disposable income out there. If people are willing to spend their money on this, you know, I have to say, some people make too much money. They, you know how the phrase goes, they got more dollars than they have cents. So because of it, I was talking with my girlfriend, and I'm thinking about getting a boob job, you know, because, you know, that would be a lot of money, you know, just thrown in my pocket. That's what it would translate to. I was like, hell yeah, I need to do that, because I don't have any other income coming in, so I need it, you know. I wonder if the VA will give me a boob job. Hell, in today's climate, they probably can't. They probably would. Get the government to pay for it. They probably will. In today's society, all I have to do is sit there and say, oh, you know, I don't know. The military repressed my sexuality, and therefore I'm owed some compensation or something like that, and then they would probably be like, yeah, you're right, you're a victim, here's money, here's taxpayer dollars, because we don't care how we spend taxpayer dollars, you know. So because they don't care. They just throw taxpayer dollars at everything. Like, it, you know, like, it's endless money. Yeah, of course. I'm a victim. That's all you got to do. Welly coming in. What's up, Welly? What were you doing today? I saw you were just chatting esports. Is that what it was? Is that what the deal was? Some esports? Yeah, blowing it up. Boom. Were you just chatting it, or were you, were you doing something? Yeah, I know you were talking about. You've been talking about that. Have you decided having some calls, like you were making contacts in the biz? Yeah, cool. So, have you decided about London and the new place, the apartment or whatever the place? I guess you said a couple was gonna sublet to you or something like that for some side income, a little side hustle for them or something like that. Oh, your place is free. Well, yeah, that's. I don't know how far you are from London or from anything that's happening. You know, as far as what you're trying to do. Rents are next door. I don't know what that means. Catches rents are next door. So you're an hour away from London? Oh, parents. Gotcha. Gotcha. I gotcha. You're an hour away from London on the train? When I was stationed in England, I was about an hour away from London on the train. Well, I'm assuming you're talking about London. You said 1 hour on the train. I'm assuming you're talking about an hour from London. Yeah, it was about an hour or so. Maybe, it might have been a little less, but I think it was an hour. It was a long time ago. I think it was an hour away. I was in Huntingdonshire. Or Huntingdonshire. I'm not sure. I'm probably mispronouncing that. I'm sure you guys are like, oh god, American just butchering this whole thing. Yeah, but yeah. It's, I was in Huntingdonshire. Shire. I don't know. So I was up there. And north of London. About an hour, I think. It was, if I recall correctly. Because I went down to London a couple of times. So, but only a couple of times. So, I'm going to knock out this thing real quick. This side mission thing real quick while we're talking. Yeah, it was, I mean, there was nothing going on. See, back then, this was in the 90s. And back then, up there it was just farmland and stuff like that, basically. I mean, the way we used to say it is they rolled up the streets at night, because there was nothing, Yeah, it was. I mean, outside of Huntingdon. I mean, Huntingdon itself was a city, I guess, or whatever. I never really went and hung out there. But the little town that was right outside of Huntingdon, Alconbury, there was a RAF base there, and we were stationed on that, and I mean, that was a little farming. I mean, Alconbury was tiny. I mean, it had a pub, a restaurant, and the restaurant was never open. I never saw it open. So I don't know what its deal was. And the pub closed at like 10, or something like that. Like I said, because it was all farmers. So, like I said, they rolled up the streets at night because it was right outside of a base. But the base used to be more occupied, and by then a lot of the base had been shut down because they used to fly U-2s out of there and everything, they used to fly a bunch of stuff. They used to fly fighters and all kinds of stuff out of there, but all that had gone away by then, and then so it was just. In fact, they still flew U-2s out of there a little bit at the time, but that was it. There was most of the squadrons that had been there were gone, So because of it, that little sleepy little Alconbury village or whatever had nothing going on anymore. And who was the prime minister before Tony Blair? I'm trying to remember his name. Can you tell me? I mean, he was in charge of your country, so you learn these things, I'm sure. Dumbledore? Oh my god. You guys don't learn these things in your schools? We learn presidents. You guys don't learn prime ministers? Oh, well, whatever his name. Yeah, no, which is far superior. What's the problem? I don't understand what the... So you're acknowledging our superiority is what you're saying. I get it. We also drive on the correct side of the road. So... That's right. America, that's why. Yeah, I can't remember his name. Anyway, the prime minister before Tony Blair, I believe. He had a house there. He had a family home in that little teeny town, that little village, whatever. And by village, I'm talking, it had like 4 buildings, maybe. And that was it. That's all it had. You know, there was nothing there. But his house was right there. I know because we had a couple of our service members got in trouble because they were walking home from the pub and they walked right past, you walk right past the front of his house, basically his family home there when you do. And they were walking past, and they had a couple to drink. They might have had a few to drink, as service members might be known to do a little bit every now and then, at a pub, So that's exactly what happened. They had a little bit to drink, and because of it, they had nature called. And the lights weren't on or anything in the house. They didn't think anything of it, and they went ahead and used the bushes there, right in front of the prime minister's family home there, or whatever. Which, of course, unbeknownst to them, was the prime minister's family home. As a result, the security detail, the SAS guys and stuff that were there concealed, were none too happy. Because he was there at the time. That's why the security detail was at the house. And, they were not, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. But, these two guys, they had a little talking to. They got a little talking to back at the command for doing that. For the slight international incident of urinating in the bushes with the camoed up SAS guys hiding in the trees and bushes and stuff in the area. you know, and yeah, they weren't. Those two guys, the command kind of pulled them aside and said, you know what? You're done here. And they sent them home. Their deployment was over. Yup. So, yeah, that happens. Oh, yeah. Well, you don't want anything that's going to be embarrassing. So, that's what happens. They sent those two dudes home, back to the States. And it, you know, and that kind of thing could follow them. I have no idea. I don't know the guys personally. So, so I don't know, you know, how much it may have affected their career or anything afterwards. Hopefully not much more. I mean, it was just urinating in the bushes. I mean, it's not like it was, you know, a huge faux pas. They didn't break into his house or anything like that. They didn't steal anything. They just did what comes naturally, you know? So, I knew that was going to happen. I was going to come over the ridge, and that was going to be right there. That's for being pesky and bothering me. So yeah, it was, that was a thing that happened while I was there. But yeah, that base, was not very, populated when I was there. It had been a busier base at one point, but like I said, a lot of those squadrons had, been relocated or shut down or whatever it was, and as a result, you know, with base realignment and stuff like that, that base ended up not being very populated anymore. I have no idea what its status is now. But we lived on that base, which was a good-sized base, though a lot of it was closed down. In fact, they had sold like half the base to commercial enterprises, and so there were commercial companies using the airfield, half the airfield, and stuff like that. And while that was happening, we lived on the other half. No, get away from me. So it was a good-sized base, at least, though. We just, you know, we were only using half of it anymore. And then, and it was, I mean, technically it was an RAF base, because that's the way our agreement with the Brits is, you know. We don't have bases in England, technically. You know, they're all British bases. It's just that, so they have a British commander and stuff for the base, but we have, yeah, take care, Iron King. Thanks for dropping in, man. Take it easy. Yeah, like I said, they have British bases, so that because they're British bases, they have a British commander, but, you know, the whole base is us. You know, it's all Americans on there. There's just a very small British administrative staff, whether it's a Navy base or an Air Force base or, you know, whatever. This one was an Air Force base. So there's a very small, there were no British troops, really. There were only, like a very small British staff on the base, and I never saw them because I didn't work on that base. I just lived on that base. What we had was we had a shuttle bus that would drive us to the base that we worked at. But that and the reason for that is because the base that we worked at did not have any barracks or any kind of a place for troops to sleep and stay at. It was just like our work area was there, because it had been a what we call a Glickum base. which was a ground launch cruise missile base. So it had all the hardened bunkers and stuff like that where they had kept special weapons, as we call them, you know, meaning nuclear cruise missiles. And all of those were on, well, the bunkers were still there. The cruise missiles weren't there anymore. But that base, because it had been a cruise missile base, and it was a real small base, because it had stored cruise missiles before, it wasn't allowed to have housing on it. So we didn't have any barracks buildings or anything on that base, but our office buildings and stuff like that were over there. And because of it, we had to live at a nearby base, and that was Alconbury, because it had barracks and stuff like that, and a bunch of empty barracks because all the squadrons and stuff had been transferred or had been, you know, shut down and all that kind of stuff. So they had a bunch of empty barracks buildings. So we lived there and then took a shuttle bus, unless you had a car, but I didn't have a car when I was stationed there. So we took a shuttle bus to get to and from work. And it was about a 15-minute drive on the bus, you know, so to the other little RAF base that we worked at. But yeah, they were all RAF bases, even though they were really U.S. bases. You know, they just weren't called that because that's the way the agreement was. The agreement was that, you know, we weren't going to have bases in England. England was going to have their own bases, and therefore they were in command and everything of the base itself. But then we would have commands on their bases, you know. So now in other places, our agreement is, yeah, we can have a base, you know, and we do. Did I go drinking with British troops? And not really, no. Like I said, I never met those guys that were on that base because there was only a handful, and I didn't work at that base. I just lived there. The Brits that I worked with in other places, like Iraq and stuff like that, well, we weren't allowed to drink. The Brits were, but we weren't allowed to drink. So, no. Now, when I went to London, one of the guys that I was there on orders with, he knew some guys because he had been to that command before, so he knew a couple people, and I was an ex-cop, and he was still a cop. It was a different agency in a different area, different state, in fact. But he had met some British bobbies with the Met, you know. And so when we went to London, he hooked up with his friends that were, you know, London cops, and we went drinking with them, yeah. Which that was kind of cool because they have a whole thing. They have a barracks and everything. They have their own like apartment building and stuff that their cops lived at. Which I was surprised at. I was like, wow, that's interesting. We don't do it that way. We don't have housing for our police or anything like that. You live at your own place, you know. But they had a whole thing. It was they had a whole barracks building and everything. I was like, okay, interesting. Like, and by barracks, man, I mean really they had kind of an apartment building, you know. But I guess it was more like a dorm. It was more like a dormitory would be. But yeah, it was interesting. So we went drinking with them, not with the troops, because I didn't really run across any British troops. I mean, I saw some, of course, at other bases and stuff, but I never met them, really. And despite the fact that we were, you know, at a joint command, I didn't have any Brits that worked in my area. It was almost exclusively American, you know. But it was an interesting place to work, you know, seeing the British countryside and getting out, getting to London a couple of times. London was cool. I really enjoyed it. I just only got to go on a couple of weekends, so it is what it is, you know. I don't know what you mean by specialist weapon training. I guess. I mean, you could phrase it that way. I'm not sure what you're referring to as specialist weapon training. I mean, we have weapon training, of course. You know, I just don't know what qualifies as specialist in your mind. I mean, yeah, we used, you know, all the standard weapons and stuff, of course. You know, everything from, you know, 50 cal machine guns, you know, several different types of pistols and assault rifles and whatever, all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, a lot of that training I also had from law enforcement anyway, to tell you the truth, so. Yeah, I worked with them a lot with drones. We call it, well, in the operations center, you have drone feeds all the time. We can just access the drone feeds on our computers. But in the operations center, we had them on the big screen, you know. And, but by big screen, I'm talking about like the whole wall of screens. We would have like 6 or 8 different screens, depending on what, you know, operations center you're in. In some cases, we had even more than that, depending on where you're at, really. But these screens were like, you know, projectors and stuff, and a big wall, lots of these screens, and they would all have different feeds from Reapers and Predators and things like that, the different drones that we had flying for us over our targets, you know, and yeah, it was always fun watching the. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it just gets repetitive. You know, you look at it and it just, if they're just trying to surveil a house, for example, you know, or whatever, in the Iraqi countryside, there's nothing to watch sometimes. You know, you're literally the drone is just flying over the house for 12 hours or something like that. You know, and there may be nothing. It's just a farmer or something like that. But sometimes we're watching because, you know, we have information about that house being connected to a high-value target or something, right? Well, you know, so we're looking for signs of that high-value target. So, you know, whatever information we might have about them. But a lot of times, you know, there's nothing. There's nothing there, but we watch it just in case, you know, for, you know, a long time, and that'll be up on the screen and stuff. But then sometimes we're doing drone strikes, or we're getting activity. It's not nothing. We're actually getting activity that we're watching. You know, we're watching a meeting between individuals. We're watching, you know, a bunch of guys transferring supplies. You know, maybe they're doing, you know, they're smuggling in weapons or something like that, or supplies for IEDs or something like that, or whatever, things like that. So we'll watch, and we'll definitely getting, you know, especially if we're getting ready to do something, you know, like either have an assault force go and intercept or apprehend somebody, or if we're gonna do a drone strike or something like that, then everybody's eyes are on the screen, of course, at a time like that. And when it's got everybody's attention like that, we call it pred porn, because of predators. Predator being the most common one that we were using at the time in Iraq, at least. So we would call it pred porn because we'd have like 6 or 8 different feeds from Predator drones up there. We'd say, yeah, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just watching some pred porn. Oh, okay. That meant you were tuned into the drone feed. I mean, it was good to do that. A, to take a break from other things you might be doing sometimes, and then, and then B, sometimes it's just up on the screen and nobody's necessarily actively watching, but you're just kind of, you're hoping for some activity, and then, somebody just by happenstance happens to look up there and kind of goes, oh yeah, hey, we got a new vehicle, on site now. And I'll be like, okay, well, let's look into that. And then we start to, figure out what we can figure out, So, decide if some activity needs to be, or some action needs to be taken. That kind of thing. Oh, alright. Oh, go all the way over. Yes! Yes! Oh, absolutely. I miss it every day. I would gladly go back, but I was in long enough that they don't, they mandate that you have to retire. You don't get to come back. I would gladly do. I mean, I could get a civilian job to do it, I guess, but don't get me wrong, my girlfriend's plenty happy that I'm not out there doing that anymore, but I would gladly go. I'd go tomorrow. If they said, hey, we've got a spot for you, I'd be like, I can pack up and be there tomorrow. But, it is what it is. It's life. Life moves on. And so now I stream Crossout, among other things. Which is fun, don't get me wrong. It's just not... None of this stuff is the action and excitement that I was used to, of course, so... But it was always a hobby, something to do on the side that's fun. So, as a result, I can do it. Yeah, I've seen it. I'm not as big on the first-person shooters in general. I mean, every now and then I find a good one, but that I really like or whatever, but usually it's not. I mean, like I like Squad. Squad's cool. But even in that, I'm not an infantry guy usually. I'd prefer to either operate a vehicle or be a sniper, where I can kind of go off and just act as a scout for people, for the team. I'm real good at scouting. That's my jam. If I had it to do over again, my military career, I would be one of two things. I would either go somewhere where I could be a sniper, or I would or I would or like a scout sniper. It doesn't have to be a sniper specifically. It could be a scout in a type of role, depending on what branch of service we're talking about and all that kind of stuff, what jobs they have available. But I would either go to do that, or I would. What would also be a lot of fun would be a little bird pilot. That would be amazing. That would be awesome. I'd love to be a little bird pilot for the 160th Special Operations Air Regiment. They're the Special Forces Special Operations Aviation Unit. So those are the guys from Black Hawk Down and stuff. You know, you go work for JSOC and you drop off special operators, you know, like on the rooftop, you know, of a building. Dropping off ninjas on rooftops, basically, and then you hang out, and if they need a little fire support, you got a little bit of rocket pods or something. Maybe you get to go and blow some stuff up real quick, and then dart out of there real fast, because you're real fast and nimble, and you're just all over the place. Okay, what the heck? And that would be awesome. That would be a lot of fun. That wouldn't feel like working at all. There were plenty of times, you know, in Intel where, you know, where it definitely feels like work. But there were plenty of other times where it was really, really interesting and a lot of fun. And there were times where I had to like pinch myself and say, you know, how lucky am I to get to do this job and see the things I get to see, you know, around the world and everywhere, you know, and to experience this kind of stuff. A lot of which, of course, I can't even talk to people about, but it's still, you know, you're sitting there, right, you know, with your buddies, with guys that you're working with or whatever, and you're like, you know, how fortunate are we? You know, other people, you know, watch movies about this kind of stuff, and we're sitting there doing it, you know? So it's definitely awesome, you know? There are other times, though, depending on where you're assigned and what your job is, there are other times you're just like, ugh, this is a nightmare. Because if you're not out in the field doing some cool stuff or whatever, then a lot of what Intel does is in windowless buildings, you know, and you're just sitting there just going, oh my god. Especially as you get higher up in rank, where, you know, now you got to play, you know, the administrative staff type stuff, and you spend all your time doing evaluations and things like that, and you're like, oh, this sucks. I want to do the job, not be a manager. This is terrible, you know, but it comes with the promotions, you know. But it was cool. I mean, even way back in Desert Storm, when I would, you know, I'm sitting there. What's going on, Andy Reaper? How you doing, man? Hey, you may not know it, but you've got a character in my Kenshi game. Yeah, I've been naming characters after followers and such, so you're there. But yeah, yeah, like I said, like way back in Desert Storm even, I was planning airstrikes, so it was cool. I was on an aircraft carrier, and, you know, we're dropping bombs on you know, Iraqi targets and stuff, and all those planes that were taking off and dropping bombs, well, they were getting their, you know, their missions from us, you know, so I would put together a target package and send it to you know, send it to the squadron or something like that, give it to the squadron, brief the pilots, whatever, and then they would go fly and blow up some stuff or whatever, and then I'd prepare a reconnaissance mission, and another set of pilots would go and fly that over the target to see how effective the attack was, what we call bomb damage assessment or battle damage assessment, BDA, and they would come back with, you know, reconnaissance photography. A buddy of mine was a photographer for the Navy, and his job was to process that reconnaissance film, because back then none of it was digital. It was all real, you know, regular cameras with film and stuff. And you know, he would process the film and get it to us, and we would do, you know, our battle damage assessment or bomb damage assessment, like I said, and determine whether the target needed to be hit again, you know, or if the initial attack was effective. You know, did it destroy the things it was supposed to destroy, or do we need to plan another strike on the same target? And if not, you know, I mean, if it was, then we just move on to the next target. We go, okay, our next target is, you know, this airfield or this ammunition depot or whatever, this munitions depot or whatever, you know, and then we'd plan that. You know, we would look at the imagery and we would determine, you know, okay, I want to blow up this building. Well, this building, you know, I can tell how tall it is and everything from overhead, you know, based on things like shadow and stuff like that. And then you go, okay, so it's a 4-story building, and it's based on the thermal, you know, image and all this kind of stuff. I can tell that it's a, you know, a steel reinforced concrete building, and as a result, I can tell, you know, what the durability of its walls basically is, and then I can go, okay, I need to put this kind of bomb in this place on that building in order for that building to go down, you know? So what aircraft do I have available, you know, or, you know, that can carry that kind of bomb and things like that? Or, you know, and then I move on to, you know, checking out other buildings also at the same target site that I want to blow up. We don't just usually fly to go blow up one building. So you go and you go, all right, I'll plan out the mission to destroy, you know, these 4 buildings or something like that, and I need to put this amount of munitions on target. And back then it wasn't all computerized and everything. They weren't smart bombs. They were what we call dumb bombs, in other words. Or so with dumb bombs, you literally had to do what's called offset aim points, which is like triangulation. You had to give the pilot some way to know when to drop the bomb, you know. So when he's flying and he's got that bomb armed basically and ready to drop, as he flies in, you know, from this at this heading, at this altitude, when he gets to this particular point, he's supposed to drop the bomb, right? Well, how's he know when he's at that point? You know, he knows because he looks at the radar signature of things in the area, like a water tower or a radio mast or something like that. And he goes, okay, if this radio mast is bearing, you know, 170 from me, and this water tower is bearing, you know, 83 degrees from me, as long as I'm coming in at this heading and flying at this altitude, at this speed, and all this kind of stuff, then that's when I know from triangulation, that's when I got to release the bomb, and the bomb will land where it's supposed to land and blow up the thing it's supposed to blow up. So there was a lot of math. There was a lot of calculations that had to be done. And back then, like I said, it wasn't all computerized, so we had to do this stuff, you know, old school. And but it was good. I mean, it was really satisfying, you know, when you would plan out these missions, and it would take you a little while to do, and you would plan out, you know, to destroy your targets and stuff, and then you send your information to your pilots and all this stuff or whatever, and then they go and they blow them up, and then you have to plan the reconnaissance mission in order to get you the kind of coverage of the target that you need afterwards. And they fly out, and they fly this camera system on the bottom of the jet, and they look at the targets, you know, and they take the imagery, the photos, and then that gets processed, and you look at that, and you go, yep, that building's no longer there. That building's of, you know, full destruction. That building, you know, it didn't completely fall. It needs to be hit again, or something like that, and or it's time to move on to other targets, whatever it is, and then you get on planning the next thing, you know. But it's real satisfying when you go, yeah, I wanted to say, you know, I wanted to destroy this, you know, radar emplacement or something like that, and you've sent the, you know, you sent the mission off, and then you know, several hours later or the next day later or something like that, you look over there, and sure enough, you know, or you get the new reconnaissance footage, and you look at it, and you see that your missions were successful. You know, that you planned them out right and they were successful. There's a good sense of job satisfaction to that. You know, we killed their radar. Now that their radar is gone, their surface-to-air missile site that relied on that radar is no longer usable. We didn't have to destroy the missiles. The missiles they were radar guided, and now that it doesn't have a associated radar with it, those missiles can just sit there, and they can't kill our planes while our planes fly over. You know, stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had those. I never planned a mission for the bunker busters or the Moab, the mother of all bombs, as they jokingly referred to it. But it was, yeah, the bunker busters and stuff like that. I never planned a mission for that specifically, because most of the aircraft that I planned missions for usually were. Back then were A6 intruders, or we had F-15s doing strikes. We had we planned missions actually for our allies too, because, you know, there were a lot of European countries that were involved in Desert Storm too. It wasn't just the U.S. So like I planned missions for Panavia Tornadoes and for Jaguars. We planned missions for Tomcats, F-14 Tomcats, FA-18 Hornets, F-16 Eagles, A-10 Warthogs. Usually didn't plan missions for them that much. They were more close air support instead that they ran. But we did use them in a couple of places, but did plan missions for F-111 aardvarks, and for what's the other one that I was just thinking of? Damn it, I can't. Just drawing a blank. But yeah, there were a lot of them. You know, hell, some of our allies that were flying, I think they were still flying F-4 Phantom 2s. So, yeah, there were aircraft filling the skies over Iraq. They were bombing everything back then. Well, in Desert Shield especially. Desert Shield was 6 weeks of non-stop bombing, you know, and we did that to destroy all their heavy equipment and their command and control and everything like that. And of course, their air defense first and their other aircraft first. But the Iraqis, they knew we were coming, of course. You know, we had, you know, this massive force. They knew we were doing this. So they made an arrangement, despite their years of hostility with Iran. They called Iran and were like, hey, we don't want to lose all our aircraft. Can we fly our aircraft over to Iran in order to protect them and land them at your airfields? And Iran was like, okay, we'll let you protect your aircraft over here. So the Iraqis flew a bunch of aircraft to Iran and landed them at Iranian airfields. And then after Desert Storm was over and everything, they asked for their planes back, and Iran's like, "What planes? We don't know what you're talking about." They kept all these Iraqi jets. They totally did. It was funny. They don't care. Yeah, Iran kept all those Iraqi jets. Which then makes you kind of go, yeah, you know, we could have just destroyed them, but now instead you gave them to a competitor in your, in your region, a regional competitor and stuff like that. So you probably would have preferred we destroyed them in that case. We're not going to get this thing. Yeah, we're not getting this thing. Too many of these things behind them and stuff, so. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, we might get this thing. I'll help these guys out. They're putting all this effort into it. Normally, I just take a shot and then leave. Oh, I don't know. We might not get this thing. We're pretty close to the target spot, aren't we? Yeah, isn't it like right here? Yeah, it is. Get there, get there, get there, get there, get there, get there, get there. No. Oh, man, that was close. Oh, well. Oh, well. What is your deal? Oh, well. Alright, let's see where we're at. How many do I do? I never know. I never pay attention anymore how many of them I did. I did 12. I only needed like 8, so. I do still have some patches I need to get knocked out here for the seasonal, for the 700 more XP. So I will do that real quick with the usual fast and easy way to do it. Low power score. Patrol. Boom. Knock them out. I only need like 3 patches maybe? What do I need? 2. I need 2 patches. And then that'll be that. Which is good because the forearm is starting to kind of act up a little bit. After this much extended keyboard usage, there's only so much I can do. The forearm starts still real sore. So, but the recovery is what it is. Yeah, Andy Reaper, you have a character in my Kenshi game, like I said. Welly, you're still cooking, man. In fact, I'm setting you up a nice kitchen. I'm in the process of setting up a whole new place. We have a new base set up. I got a whole big kitchen building basically that's being created, and you've already got 6 bread ovens in there. because you're going to be making what they call dust witches, which is like sand witch, but it's dust instead of sand. Dust witches. They're not that appealing. They're very unappetizing, but they're according to the information in the game. However, they are they're decently nutritious, all things considered, and they're like a cactus sandwich. I know, which is gross as it sounds, but it's efficient. It's something we can build. Whoa! All right, flip all the way over. Nope. Damn it. Damn it. All right. Well, as long as we, well, I'm not gonna get the whatevers here, so. Are you kidding me, man? These people. Goodness. Yeah, I do my raids and dailies every day too. Thank you. Oh, are you kidding me? Jeez, everybody's turned upside down in this one. I only stream the 4 days currently, but yeah, I do them. I do them every day. I just can't stream them every day, basically. As far as streaming the 4 days, I just mean streaming my cross out the 4 days. I mean, sometimes I stream other things on different days and stuff, but somehow I ended up third, and I sat there on my side for a good long period of time. I don't think I got I got one patch, so I need one more patch still. Yeah, I wasn't able to do more since I was laying on my side there, but whatever. Yeah, I know it doesn't seem like much in the way of, hot cuisine or anything, Welly, but making just sandwiches, but it's something, and given the world that Kenshi is in, it is something that is necessary too. We need them. All right, well, I guess I'm coming down here. Yep, and there it is. Hopefully that should be we should get a patch out of that. Yeah, we got a couple patches, so we're good. We should be done with that. Maybe not. Yeah? Yeah. Yep, we're done with that. Okay, cool. That's good, because the forearm is starting to bother me. The arm, I should say. It's the back of the forearm right by the elbow, where it's, man, it's starting to tear me up. So, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and call it for Crossout. I just can't do the heavy keyboard games and stuff right now. So, I may stream some Kenshi in just a little bit, but as far as Crossout is concerned, I'm going to have to call it here because of the keyboard activity. But I appreciate you guys tuning in, as always. Thanks a lot. For anybody who might be new, if you have not hit follow, please hit follow. It's very much appreciated, and I would... it could help me out, I should say. And if you're watching this on twitch.tv/Secret Squirrel Games, all one word, then make sure you also check out my YouTube channel. It is also called Secret Squirrel Games, but 3 separate words with spaces in between, and it uses the same logo that you see on the right-hand side of the screen. If you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, then congratulations, you're probably the only one, or one of the very few. And if so, you can come on over to twitch.tv/Secret Squirrel Games and watch me as I am live on this, or broadcasting this, or any other game for that matter, and you'll be notified when I do so if you hit follow on Twitch, or like and subscribe on any videos on YouTube as well. Thanks a lot again for tuning in. Very much appreciated. I'll be back doing daily and weekly challenges tomorrow afternoon at 3 in the afternoon Eastern Time in the United States, which is -4 UTC right now. Otherwise, I will also probably do some Twitch here in just a little bit. I'm going to give the arm a little bit of a break for a few minutes. I got to switch the stream information and everything anyway, and probably get a drink and maybe a little bit of food real quick. So, in the next 15 minutes or so, probably, I will be back on with Kenshi more than likely. But for now, thanks a lot for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. All right, take it easy, folks.